All right. Hello, everybody. Due to very popular demand, we get asked about this all the time. I'm very excited to launch a webinar all about SEO, or as people call it, search engine optimization. We are Lift Aesthetic Marketing. If you haven't heard about us, we are a digital marketing agency specifically for the medical aesthetic space. My name is Kevin Wilhelm. I'm the founder and the president of the agency, which means that I get out of the way and let the experts do the talking. Today, joining me is Claire Laurie. She is our SEO specialist working with medical aesthetic owners just like you all across North America. And so I have asked her to put together some information, really dive into the world of SEO. And so this is her show. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to play the role of you as the provider. And I'm going to try to ask those questions that I think you have. And it's based on speaking to you all the time and I'm going to represent your point of view. So I'm going to turn it over to Claire. Claire, how are you? Welcome to the webinar. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Kevin. Yes, I'm super excited to go over some SEO basics for you guys today. Basically, I want to give you some actionable tactics that you can go and do after you're done here with your website to follow some of the best SEO practices we have today. So especially if you've launched a new website, if you have a website, but maybe you haven't thought of SEO, what can you do today to move you in the right direction? So starting with the basics here, what is SEO? Well, like Kevin said, SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's essentially tactics that help improve your website to show up better, rank higher on search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, what have you. Now, why is SEO important? Well, it helps potential patients find you. On average, people are searching 3 to 4 times a day. And on Google alone, kind of that largest search engine we have, there's around 8.5 billion searches a day. That's substantial. So when people are searching on Google, we want to show up organically for those users searching for those particular services. And what's great about SEO is it allows you to own your space on the search engine. We work hard to build the website's expertise, authority, trustworthiness. That helps you rank higher, own that space. So SEO is a fantastic long-term strategy for long-term growth.
Right. So Claire, I'm just going to stop you on this one. The word long-term, we get asked all the time. What does long-term strategy mean? How long do I need to invest in SEO? What are the expected returns? When can I actually see it work?
That's a great question. Basically, with SEO, the reason we call it a long-term strategy, because it takes time to build that authority and that expertise. Really, we can think of it like building blocks. The more keywords we begin to rank for, the more we're going to be showing up, the more impressions users will see the website. That leads to more clicks, more organic traffic to the website, and then our increase in rankings follow. So really, long term, we like to say anywhere between 3 to 6 months, we're going to start seeing those results, with 12 months, that year point, really taking off. So Google takes a while to crawl the website, to index it, to rank it. So it's not going to happen overnight. But when you invest in it, the returns are substantial.
And then if I were to stop doing it, so let's say I've been investing in SEO for that year. If I were to just stop doing it, what ends up happening?
Now, the great thing about technology these days is it continually updates. So Google continually is updating its algorithm to better serve the user. They want to give the best results page depending on what that user is searching. And with those updates, we have to kind of bend and adapt to Google's new rules, new ideas of ranking. And as well, if we stop doing SEO, let's say today, there's going to be competitors who are going to be wanting to claim those spots that you're in. If you're in position number 1, that's the position everyone's gunning for. So if we stop doing SEO, the likelihood of a competitor taking over that position is a lot higher than if we continue to build and work on our search engine optimization.
Got it. So an analogy that I've heard that I really like is equivalent to going to the gym. So it does take some time. You're not going to see results overnight. It does take 3 to 6 months to start to see those results. If you've been at the gym for a year, but then you end up just going way less or stop going altogether, it's not that you're going to go back to the way you looked a year ago overnight, but without that constant maintenance and kind of staying up and keeping your routine going, you will start to see the losses and you start to go back to where you were, right? Is that a fair analogy?
That's a perfect analogy. I love that. I'm going to start using that.
All right. You're welcome to use it. All
right. So what we're going to cover today, I've broken it down into 3 different pillars of SEO here, starting with on-page SEO. And essentially what that means is SEO optimization tactics you can do directly on your website. Off-page SEO are tactics you can do off of the website. And then technical SEO are aspects of the technical of your website, such as speed, security, and that helps your website be faster, easier to crawl, and more understandable for the search engine. So I've got tips and tricks for all 3 pillars today.
Okay, so before we do that, just as we pay attention to each one, if you only had time or money or resources to do one, is one more important than the other?
Oh, that is tough. No, you know what? They all really work hand in hand. I wouldn't pick one pillar here over the other. They all have their reasons for being super beneficial. I will say, when you leave today, 2 things that you can do right away in less than 5 minutes that are going to be super important to your SEO is one, under their technical SEO here, ensure that your website is indexed, and I'll show you how you can do that quickly. And then claim your Google Business Profile. Those are 2 things right off the bat that I would say if you don't do anything else after today, those 2 things. But really, all of these aspects should be looked at and worked on. So to start here, we have on-page SEO, and I'm going to talk about headers. So headers, we have H1s, H2s, H3s. Those are basically different levels of headers. And today I'm going to talk about the H1. That's the main header of what that page is about. So here I have an example, dermal fillers in Calgary. What's great about this H1 is that it has what the service is and where you can get that service. Putting the location into the H1 is so important for your local visibility because that's what people are going to be searching. Say just dermal fillers, the intent of somebody just searching dermal fillers could be more information on dermal fillers. What is dermal fillers? And a lot of websites such as WebMD or Healthline are going to show up. When we put that location in, that local visibility, that intent changes, those users searching dermal fillers in Calgary, we want to show up for that service. So putting that location in is going to be super beneficial.
All right, I have a new analogy. I just came up with it listening to you. I need to know if it works.
I'm ready.
So I want you to think of this as red wine. I'm at a restaurant. I want to order a red wine. To me, this is equivalent of making sure your wine is listed in the right category, which would be red or white, and then the region. So if I want a Italian red, you don't want to take that wine and put it anywhere. You want to make sure that it's listed under red wine, under Italian, so that when your customers are looking for an Italian red wine, they can find it quickly, easily. And so that's what Google is doing. So they're trying to read your website, understand what you're talking about so they know where to put it. Is that fair?
That is fair to say. And now I want a glass of red wine.
No, it's on my mind too, so.
Thank you, Kevin. I love that analogy. My next on-page SEO tactic is internal linking. And essentially internal links are just hyperlinks that connect one page of your website to another. Essentially, what's great about internal linking is it's good for both the user experience and the search engine. So for the search engine, they have crawlers that scan through your website, and internal linking helps connect your website like one big web. So we don't want any dead ends. We don't want to send the crawler to the wrong page or a 404 error, again, a dead end. So it helps understand your website, what your website is about and how it connects. And then for the user, if say you have a web page on facials and a page on chemical peels, well, if you mention chemical peels on that facial page, what you want is for users to easily find that information. If it's internally linked, users can click on that chemical peel link and head to that page, stay on the website longer, get the information they're looking for, and ideally book that appointment. And meta titles and descriptions here. The meta title is what we see, that clickable link on the results page. And then the description is that fine print underneath the title. And for best practices, we want the meta title to be 60 characters or less, and the meta description to be 160 characters or less. And the reason for this is we don't want it to be cut off. There's only a certain amount of space on the search engine results page. So we don't want any of those important keywords to be cut out. And so front loading the keywords, what that means is putting those important keywords, so like the service name and again, the location, super important, closer to the front so we avoid any of those important keywords being cut off. Really, with the metas, you want to answer, what is this page about? When users search, say again, dermal fillers in Calgary, what's going to happen is those keywords that they search, so we see Calgary here, that's bolded. If we can get those keywords bolded, it's going to help with that user experience. They see, oh, here's a service in Calgary, and the likelihood of clicking on it is going to be a lot higher.
So where do I update my meta titles and meta descriptions if I'm managing my own website?
If you go onto the back end of your website, there's a couple easy spots to do it. Typically on the page itself, if you go into, you can update, and there's typically a character count right there. It's going to tell you if you're over, under. It's an easy way to click on the back end there. If you have any issues, whoever runs your website, they should be able to help you.
Yeah, and I'll just take a minute here too. So what's really interesting about, when we talk about basic SEO here, so many people will have a website and they will, on a single page, talk about a ton of different things. We have a lot to say. We have services, we have products, we have brands. So we try to put it all on one page because that just makes sense. The problem with that is when Google indexes and reads that page, they are then saying this page is about 5 different things. And so when one of your prospective patients or customers is searching for that thing, and right here you can see cool sculpting as an example. So they're looking for cool sculpting in your area, and you have cool sculpting bunched in with other services, then Google doesn't, it may show you that page because you mentioned cool sculpting, but if you had an individual page all about that product, that service, that brand, in this case, cool sculpting, then Google says, wow, this page is exactly what this person is searching for. Cool sculpting in Calgary, or in this case, might be medical aesthetics in Calgary. So they're more likely to show that page. And so we think about a website as a collection of pages, and these meta descriptions and titles are specifically about naming those individual pages in the most specific way so that when Google is trying to serve up a suggestion to somebody searching, they're saying this page has everything to do about what you are searching. So the more specific you can get by breaking out more pages and naming them properly, the better chance you have of that page ranking well.
Absolutely. And that is a perfect segue into creating helpful content. My next on-page SEO tactic, because we talk about service pages and why they should stand alone, because Google ranks pages and not websites as a whole. So again, to Kevin's example, cool sculpting, if somebody is searching for that service in their area, we want that individual service page to stand out and have the information that is helpful to the user. So what does that patient need to know? Maybe how often they should be getting that treatment, who's a good candidate for that treatment, kind of that who, what, where, when, why. You can kind of think providing that information to the user is going to help that page show up, be relevant in your local area, and it should be able to stand on its own for that exact reason. Now, another important piece of creating helpful content is continuously updating and publishing content. So what's a great option for this are blogs. Blogs allow you to publish new content, whether it's weekly, monthly, what have you, and that signals to the search engine, come crawl the website again. And what's great about that is it's constantly top of mind. It builds the authority, it builds the keywords, ideally sending more traffic to the website and increasing those rankings. So what a great way to come up with blog topics would be, what questions are patients asking you every week or every month about a particular service? What is a good resource you could provide? And what would people be searching? Now, you want to, a more advanced way would be doing some keyword research with a keyword research tool. There are free options, or there are free trials for options, but you want to see what questions are being asked at high volumes that you can provide a really beneficial answer to that user. Now, one thing too, for both blogs, service pages, any content on your website, you want to avoid duplicate content. And that's because Google won't rank the same page twice. Custom content is your key here. Now, on to off-page SEO. Again, these are tactics that you do off your website to help increase your website's authority. And one thing here is claiming your Google business profile. So what you can do, a quick Google search of your business name. You want to see that business profile come up on the side. If there isn't one, you might have to create one brand new. If there is one, but you don't know who owns your Google business profile, there's a little button you can click and it says own this business with a question mark. You click that and it'll allow you to send an email to the current owner of the profile. Now, what's great and important about the Google business profile, and it's an easy way for patients to find your brand and your information on Google services. So whether that's search or maps, especially, that's how users are going to find you. Make sure that information is accurate and up to date. You don't want to have the wrong hours there. You don't want to have the wrong address, because that's going to send users to the wrong location when they use you for maps. That phone number, that's how a lot of users are calling as well. Again, when we're searching on our phones. So accurate, up-to-date information, and make sure you claim your profile. Those are the two main components here.
Yeah, and I think it's also important just how we have transitioned to voice search as well. If you're driving and somebody wants to call you or they want directions to your location, they're going to ask Siri or they're going to ask Google for directions to your business. If these are not accurate, then Google will not be able to connect you properly or connect that person properly. So really important it's there. And the other side of this is also your reviews. And it is a pain point that we get all the time. How do I respond to reviews? Or that one isn't real, or that, really you can subscribe. Once you sign up for your account, you will be notified when you have new reviews. If you put it in your schedule when you do administrative work, just to check, and you can just do a quick, you can just Google your location. You're going to see your view, your dashboard will show that you have new reviews. You want to be responding to all of them, very high level. If it's positive, thank them. And if it's negative, acknowledge it. I would not apologize, but you acknowledge it and you ask to handle the conversation offline. Give them an email address, somebody that can actually do something about their experience. And what you're doing is taking a kind of personal conversation offline. You're going to have it privately with them. And so new customers will see that you have dealt with it, but they don't need to hear the he said, she said back and forth online. So stay away from that. So sorry, Claire, but that's just something I get asked all the time, and I wanted to just share that.
No, absolutely. And reviews are super important. If you don't have a ton of reviews, I would recommend asking your current patients, your new patients for reviews, because that only adds to the authority and the expertise and the trustworthiness of your online presence. And second here for off-page SEO would be claiming some local listings. And basically a local listing is a business directory that's going to display your business information. So the name, address, and contact information. Again, just like that Google Business Profile, you want to ensure all that information is accurate and up to date. Some examples of local listing include Yelp, Yellow Pages, RateMD. And the benefit here is that local listings help search engines basically legitimize your business presence, relevance, and authority within the local community. And it also allows users to find you through another avenue. A lot of the time, Yelp might be one of the top 10 results on the results page. If users are clicking on that, or if they're searching on it directly for a particular service, and you come up, it's that other avenue to head to your website, to give you a call, to find your business information. So claiming some of those top ones is definitely beneficial here.
How can someone manage all this? Like, there's so many places, so many things to do. I guarantee you it is the last priority of any business owner. So is there a way to do this? They know they have to do it. They don't want to do it. They don't know where to go. How can we make this easier for them?
What's great is there's services such as my team and what we do here at Lyft, where we provide local listing management, where we go and claim the top 25 local listings for your niche industry. And that way we ensure all your business information is correct across the board, because that's another thing too. You don't want to have the wrong information. Again, just like that Google Business Profile, all that information is cohesive across the board, and you show up as you should be.
Okay, so that is part of when you work with a SEO provider, I mean, such as us, but anybody, this is one of the things they do, is they're out doing the grunt work that practice owners, clinic owners don't want to do, which is going to these, they're claiming the listings, they're keeping an eye on the Google My Business, they're looking at the all the listing information. So, okay, that makes sense. That then you're having somebody help you with it. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
I guess you just got to roll your sleeves up right and do it yourself.
Absolutely. There's really no way out of if you were to do it yourself, you'd have to go into each platform and update that yourself. You could claim those top ones, Yelp and Yellow Pages, of course, the Google Business Profile, those top ones, but to cover your bases and as many as possible, you would have to go in and kind of, like you said, roll your sleeves up, ensure all that information is correct. All right, on to technical SEO. And technical SEO, again, is basically the back end of your website, how your website runs. Again, the faster your website runs, the easier it will be to crawl, the easier it will be to use for users, and the more understandable it's going to be for search engine. So this is the one I mentioned off the top here, ensuring your website is indexed. Now, what can happen is a website can be indexed, or it can be indicated with a no index tag in its code. And essentially what that means is it's signaling to the search engine, do not index this website. We don't want that. We want the website to be able to be indexed and show up on the results page. So a very easy way to check to see if your site is showing up and indexed on Google is all you have to do, type in site, and then pop your URL in there. Once you hit enter, a list of your pages, the whole sitemap should show up on the results page. If you don't see that, that's a sign you probably have the no index tag on your website. You want to amend that basically as soon as possible so that Google can then go in, crawl, and index your website. Now, sorry, Kevin.
No, keep going.
A more advanced way to take a look at your website's performance is to set up Google Search Console. And you can even see here in our screenshot, that's the first thing Google recommends as well, because what's great about Google Search Console is once you set that up, follow some nice, easy step-by-step instructions. It's going to flag potential issues and send it right to your email. So it's going to tell you what pages aren't indexed. If there's any 404 errors, again, that's basically a web page that doesn't exist running into a dead end that you would want to redirect to an existing page. And it's going to monitor your performance as well. So it helps see how many clicks you're getting, how many impressions you're getting, and you can kind of take a look at what queries are being searched that are sending people to the website. So there's a ton of great aspects of Google Search Console and setting that up with your website. But first and foremost, like I said, if you hop off this and the first thing you do would be typing in site, and then your URL to make sure that your website is indeed indexed, because we could do all the on-page work, all the off-page work, but if your site isn't indexed, it's not showing up regardless. So step number one, check to see if that website is indexed.
So aside from freaking out, what would I do if I did this and I found out my website was not indexed?
That's right. Don't freak out. It's quite an easy fix. What you would want to do is reach out to whoever's hosting your website, because again, it is going to be in the code, unless you know a lot about code and you know how to go in and change that. You don't want to take away any of the wrong lines of code or mess up anything on that back end there. So reach out to your website provider, let them know your website is no indexed, and they will go in and remove that tag. Once that tag is removed, Google will have the ability to then crawl.
Thank you.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, you want to ensure your website is optimized for mobile devices. I mean, we all have our mobile device, if not in our pocket, within arm's reach of us. And that's how so many people are searching on the web today. I mean, 64% of searches happen on a mobile device. So optimizing for mobile, you could have a really great website that performs super well on a desktop, but if it doesn't perform well on a mobile device, you're going to be losing out on a lot of potential patients. Slow loading websites or websites that are tough to use or tough to read on a mobile device can cause users to just say, hey, you know what? I'm going back. I'm going to see if I can find another website that I can find the information that I'm looking for. And now, because so many searches happen on a mobile device, Google uses a mobile first indexing. So what that means is it prioritizes crawling and indexing your website's mobile version over the desktop version first. So optimizing for mobile is essential for a well-performing and SEO optimized website.
Is there anything easy that someone can do to speed up their website?
The easiest thing to do would to be checking to see if everything is up to date. So the platform you use, is that up to date? Are your plugins that you're using all up to date? How many plugins are you using? Kind of like your computer or your phone itself. You know how almost every couple months we have to update our computer to the newest version, our phone to the newest version. That's kind of like our website platforms and our plugins. And then after that, you want to see what kind of server your website is on. And is it on the fastest server you can have, or is it on a slower server?
Got it. So I'm just going to do a full summary of what I heard today. SEO, search engine optimization, comes down to three things. We have on-site optimization, which is making sure that your website is a collection of different web pages, all about products, services, and brands, that those are indexed properly with H1 tags, which are your main header tags, that there's really good content on each page, helpful content that answers questions that your patients would have, your customers would have, that those pages are interlinked between each other. Then we have offsite SEO, which is the name, address, phone number is correctly displayed on numerous different listings. There's many out there, but like Yelp and Yellow Pages and all of those, so that when Google indexes other websites, they're seeing the same consistent information for you. And then we have technical SEO, which is the way your website is built, and you want to make sure that it is fast, that it is mobile friendly, that it is user friendly. And so this is where I can sort of do a public service announcement for our company, which is when you are looking to partner with somebody to help you with SEO. If you are someone who's decided that you don't have the time, knowledge, or experience to do this, imagine a world where you get to work with Claire Laurie every day and leave all that expertise to her. And her team go and make sure that the website's built a certain way, that the on-site, the off-site's done, the technical stuff is all taken care of. You get to sit back, do what you do, which is run your Medi Spa, run your medical aesthetic clinic, be the best provider you can, and really hand over the SEO duties to Claire and colleagues of Claire. They do a phenomenal job. But if you want to learn a little bit more of what we talked about today, then we've put together a free download. You can pull out your phone right now, scan that QR code. It'll lead you to our page on our website where all of our downloads are free. You can take it, learn a little bit. And if you are interested at all in working with us and inquiring about our services and how we can help support you and your business, please send us an email. It is at info@liftaestheticmarketing.com, or continue to follow along our social media or our emails as we continue to provide more content about marketing. Thank you very much for your time. And Claire, what a breath of fresh air. This was great. Thank you for sharing your expertise. And it truly is a joy to talk to you about SEO. So thank you for putting this together today.
Thank you.
All right. Well, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.